Snow, talk about this season. It's been a heck of a ride, a lot of challenges, and to overcome that was pretty impressive.
It's really a bittersweet type of deal with the year being over because you wanted to play those other three games, and our players did. We did as coaches, and weird I don't think is the word I'd use for it. It's something beyond the term weird, just because rarely, if ever, do you have 2-3 week breaks in a year before you play another game. And do I think that affected us? Yeah, I thought it took us out of rhythm and did some things that it's just different. I'm sad it's over, but part of me is glad that we got it done and that it is done. And I say that because I know our players, as much as they want to play, and our coaches, as much as they want to coach, it just grinds on you. The doing what you had to do to go through the precautions, to symptom check every morning, to test on Wednesday and wait till late Thursday to find out who's going to be able to play. It just adds a lot of stress. And players, they practice all week, and then all of a sudden they're out because of social contact tracing, and I felt bad for those players when they couldn't play. And they're here, they are doing everything right. And I recall one conversation, Coach, I did everything right. Why do I have to sit out? I don't have an answer for them. I mean, it's the health department says that, and regulations say that, so that's where we are with this. And so, would I like to be playing more and continue to play? Yeah. I liked the way our team played. We got some things we had to clean up, but part of me is glad that our players don't have to worry about that anymore, and we can go on and prepare for the spring and prepare for next year.
When you look back, like say 10 years in the future, and you look back on this season, what are some things that you're gonna remember and just kind of think about for a long time?
I mean, just the adversity that you go through. I think adversity reveals character. First, I'll say it again. If Dr. Walter Windler and Michael McBroom should get a lot of credit for us even playing 6 games and us playing football, because they fought through the President's Council and the Lone Star Conference, and Michael through the ADs. And I tried to convince more teams to play, as well as coaches to play, and why we were doing it and why I thought it was a good idea. And I think from top to bottom here, we were on the same page, and that's hard to find. I'm very lucky to be at a place like this where we have that continuity and those same beliefs, and that's what we want to do. So I think looking back, I will remember. Of course, I'll remember the losses, but I'll also remember the way we came out and played at home against Angelo. I remember coming out of the tunnel that first game against Panhandle State when nobody thought we'd play a game, and to be able to do that in this type of year, to me, is special. And I think I saw there's 166 Division II football teams, and 9 teams played this fall, and we played more games than anybody at 6. And, should have played 9, but that's not our fault. And I think that in talking to my players, they all believe that this was the right thing to do, and they're glad that we went through it with all the hardships and everything you had to deal with. I think it made us better as a team. It made us better as a university to show that we're going to be resilient, we're going to push through things, and we're going to continue to move forward in all different aspects at this university. And our football program, if we're the ones that, I get a lot of calls and texts from coaches, hey, I'm glad you're doing that, I wish we were doing it. If we're the ones that spearheaded this, and we're the first Division II to come out and say we're going to play, I'm glad those other 8 teams followed, because there was a lot of questions and wondering why and how you're going to be able to pull this off. But I go back to Luke Casper and Ben Kozak. Luke was our athletic trainer, and he's the one that handled all the COVID stuff. And he and I and Austin Feltner, his assistant, we would be there at 5 o'clock in the morning, symptom checking players to make sure they're okay. And that had a burden on us. And that's what I remember. I remember the people that helped get this thing done more than anything, and just what kind of special people they were.
Can you talk a little bit about, do you feel like other coaches, other programs had regrets once they saw you guys were able to play and they were kind of like, all right, we're missing out?
Yeah, because I've had coaches say that, and it wasn't a lot of the coaches wanted to play, but the administration didn't want to do it, or their political things got in the way. So there's a bunch of different reasons that teams did not play. So I don't sit there and say it's all coaches and that didn't want to play. But I think that they do regret it, because right now they're questioning whether it's going to be a spring season. And all along, and I hope those kids get an opportunity to play in the spring. But all along, our philosophy, from Dr. Windler talking to me and Michael McBroom talking to me, is that now's the time to get it done, because we don't think there's going to be a spring with the weather changing and it getting colder. I think that it's going to be it spike worse before it gets better at that time, and the recent numbers have shown that. So again, I hope for those players' sake that they get an opportunity to play, and but it's going to be difficult, I think, and if they do, we'll watch them and see what they do, and I'll be happy for them. But do coaches have regrets? Yeah, I think they do. I think when you see that it can be pulled off and it can be done, it just takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort, and I'm glad we have the people in place that we put forth that work and effort to get it done.
COVID-19 wasn't the only special circumstance of the year for you guys. There was also the Black Lives Matter movement that you guys did on the field and kind of put off. Talk about that and what made this year so special.
Again, you talk about adversity and challenges, and I think that, to me, the game of football teaches more about teamwork and about life than any other sport. And I might be biased in that, but in football, 11 guys have to be on the same page, and for us to have to intertwine guys because of contact tracing, because of positive tests, and to never really know who that guy next year is going to be, and it could change in a heartbeat. I think that helped us grow as a team and with each other. Everything else out there outside of COVID-19, the meeting we had that sparked all that was very powerful. It was opened up to a lot of eyes and some guys that did not know about that. And I think it also allowed guys to open up and share some experiences they've had with different types of racial injustice that I don't know about or didn't know about. And it allowed me to go and talk to people about what's going on and how we can change that, and to get our players involved in that. So everything's a challenge, and now the challenge is continuing, because our guys are going to go home for 6 weeks and they're going to come back in January. And I challenge them all to say, go work out, continue to do what you want to do. You've got goals and aspirations for where we want to be. That game Saturday, I'm telling you, and I'll say it again, was a typical playoff game. And if you make mistakes, you're going to lose. And it's over, and it ends abruptly. So you've got to come in and be focused and ready to go, and we weren't. And we have to learn from that. And we'll go in and do our typical winter workouts, and then get in the spring ball and get prepared to go on. And we'll go recruit guys that, I want guys that want to be at West Texas A&M. I want hard-nosed football players. They don't have to be the best athletes. I just want guys that will buy into our culture, what we do, and then we'll be successful. So I told the players that for the game, and when they come back from the Thanksgiving/Christmas break, I'll tell them again, you build character by what you did this year. Understand that, because we all went through it together, every single aspect that it was. That's the one positive thing I will say is we went through this as a team, and our team, they laughed together a lot. We had some great moments together. We cried about different things as a team, and we became closer as a family. This team became closer as a family. So.
Final question for me. It's a two-parter, so it's very special. Do you feel like WT football is better off after having played this year? And do you have any plans of in the future trying to recreate the chemistry that this team had to go through, and also maybe having some kind of educational program going through again, kind of teaching the struggles of the movement?
I think that we're a lot better for this, not just on the football field, but off the field and as a team, going through all this together. And do I ever want to go through this type of situation again? No, I don't. I don't want to go through the COVID situation, but I would. I would take on the challenge and the adversity and everything we had to in a heartbeat to give these kids an opportunity to play. As far as everything else, I would hope we don't have to do that again. I would hope that there's some change in what's going on in the world with the racial injustices and things like that. I would hope that nobody has to go through that again, just because it's normally when those things happen, people lose their lives, and it doesn't matter how old they are or what they've done. Nobody should lose their life over the color of their skin, and I think that's where hopefully our players have learned, and as they go out and they grow up and they become husbands and fathers and they teach their children that color of skin doesn't matter. It's we're all human beings, and we should respect and love each other as human beings. And if we can do that, then I think a whole lot of things will change. So there's some of that. I mean, I don't want to go through that part about it. If COVID-20 comes, whatever the hell they call the next one, I mean, I want to give our players every opportunity to go out and play and perform, and I would do that again in a heartbeat.
On Saturday, I guess all season you played a lot of guys, but Khalil Harris kind of showed what you guys thought he was capable of. Running for over 100 yards. Just kind of talk about his progression since he walked on campus, and kind of just, what do you expect of him moving forward?
I mean, Khalil actually was a guy we recruited and was waiting for a Division I offer, and then came back to us as a walk-on. So he earned a scholarship pretty quickly after that first year last year. But you see the talent that he has. You see what he's capable of. He's kind of a glider to me. I mean, I'm an old school guy. Kind of reminds me of Eric Dickerson. Kind of runs high and just kind of glides and makes people miss. Gives great effort. I mean, I think on the fumble, looking at film, I think he was down, and if we had replay, it might have. But I can't take that away. But he's just trying to get yards. He's just trying to and I'm never going to fault a guy for giving effort like he gives. And whether they overturn that call, if it was, who knows, and who cares right now. I mean, but Khalil is, he's got a special talent, and I think he's just starting to realize how good he can be. And he's just a great young man. He's just always got a smile, friendly, and fun to get along with. And, we got big plans for Khalil, and hopefully he'll meet our expectations for him.
Defensive side ball, a newcomer as well, Satchel Escobar came on really strong at the end of the year, just after that injury he had in the Angelo State game. Just talk a little bit about Satchel and just the youth that you have on that defensive side of the ball that got a lot of experience and will be back next year.
Well, I think Satchel, after he came back from the injury, really kind of progressed rapidly. He started becoming a leader back there, and he's got to become more of a leader back there for us. But he started to get a better understanding of what we wanted from him and how to play the coverages, and so we started to feel more comfortable. And the more comfortable that he got, the more confidence he got. The more confidence you get, the better you play, and you do those type of things. He's a hard hitter. He's going to come downhill and he's going to hit you. he is learning to be a student of the game and how to study film and how to put himself in the right positions. And, he's got to carry that on. We are a young secondary, and he has got to be able to carry that through to the young guys throughout the spring and lead through the spring. And I think he's up for the task of doing that.